traditional introductions are challenging, and and they didn't come around until recently. I would say like 75 years ago, there would be somebody in the crowd saying, "Who in the hell are you?" And then you would say, "Well, my mom is this person, my dad is this person." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, you can't marry any of these folks on this side. You can marry the folks on that side of the room." So it was all about figuring out, who you can associate with and who you can marry. Uvanga Abalharu, Roy Agloinga, Nachiling Mionga from White Mountain. And I'm so blessed to be here with you all today. I am the president and CEO for First Alaskans Institute. I've been there for a little over a year. Before that, I worked in philanthropy. I worked at Rasmussen Foundation. I've met many of you through my previous iterations of work, so I'm really happy to see a lot of people that I know here. I come from a small village in Northwest Alaska, White Mountain. I think we have about 200 people there, and my family is, amazingly, I think I have one of the largest groups of siblings of anyone I know. I have 14 half-siblings and 5 adopted siblings, so I don't know if anybody can beat that, but I have family everywhere, and I'm related to at least 16 of you in this room. This conversation, I came about when my cousin, Poot Gray, called me frantically several times over the last couple of months, and we were feeling it too. This is an incredibly unprecedented time. When the election happened, I remember the morning after the election coming into my office and just trying to ground my team of really amazing, wonderful young people who were terrified because they knew immediately that this was going to be an attack on anybody who was a person of color. And I always feel like the arrow of racism is directly pointed in this country at African American people, but it hits every single one of us on the way to the target. Yes. It's a tremendous, shameful legacy that we have. So we knew that day that there was going to be a huge attack on our civil liberties. We knew that everything that we held dear was going to be up for grabs. We were really afraid about education. We were afraid for our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters, especially for our trans folks who need health care and require that very kind care to make that transition that they're making into who they really are. My team did an extensive, very detailed analysis in, I would say, September, October of the 2025 playbook. So we had every area that was going to impact Alaska Native people highlighted from the 2025 playbook. And we were reading it, we highlighted everything that could affect us. It's a 1,000-page document. And we were thinking, there's no way that this is going to happen. There's no way that all of this can come true. This is just their playbook. It's a bunch of crazy people. The president, if he's elected, isn't really going to do this. But let me tell you, every single thing that we have highlighted in that book so far has come to play. Everything that we highlighted, every single thing that we were afraid of is now in motion as far as the current administration addressing every single one of those items. So, my team has gone between feeling just kind of terrified and paralyzed with fear to recognizing that that's not going to get us anywhere. Being afraid and getting paralyzed and getting kind of sunk into this depression, this fear, this anxiety that we have all been feeling is not going to help us. So I'm amazed with this group of young people. All I do is try to keep up with them. I'm their president and CEO, but my job is to follow them and make sure that they can do this amazing magic that they do every day. We run Elders and Youth Conference. You probably have heard of that. It's right before AFM. So we have about 13 to 15,000 people that we reach through the conference. It's very focused on our traditions, on mentorship between our elders and our youth, on really looking at those issues that are important and big in our community and how to address those. Everything from climate change to language loss to hunting and fishing to traditional wisdom. All of that is already a challenge. It was already difficult for us to maintain, to preserve, and to keep our ways of life protected. With this new administration and the executive orders and the actions that have already been taken, some of the foundational work that we have done over the last 50, 75 years, we know is being unraveled at the very foundation, at the very core. So one of the things that we've been doing is with this 2025 playbook highlight that we've gotten, we have had several meetings with regional leaders. We're just getting ready to do a statewide meeting to a coffee time so that our policy center can give the information, give the highlights and the insight about the playbook that is already in motion. We're really hoping that by doing that, we come up with a plan, a strategy, some solutions that we know will work. We know that education has never really worked for us already. The Department of Education, as you know probably today, it's coming under fire with the administration. Education from the federal level funds education in Alaska at about 20%. But none of our schools are bringing kids to the table that are above a 4th grade reading level across the state. So we know that there are many things that already are not working. We're really hoping that this crisis, this difficulty will engage us at a level that allows us to rethink, like, what do we really need to have happen here? How do we make it so that we create a program, a system, a framework that is going to be way more successful than what we've had before? I mean, that's what we're hoping. We're trying to find the silver lining. That's what my team is doing every day. They're like, how can we repurpose this? What can we do? How can we think about this in a way that is going to allow us to move forward without being completely freaked out every minute of every day? We know that housing and homelessness is under attack. As soon as the executive orders came out and those portals were frozen, no one could get their funds for Section 8. So, it was terrifying because if people can't use Section 8 to pay for their subsidized housing, that's, in Anchorage, it's thousands of people that would be out on the street within the next month. We know that all of our villages have subsidies. I mean, my uncle's house cost him $100 a month, but it was heavily subsidized by HUD. There was no way that he could afford housing if it wasn't subsidized at that level. We know that all of our homelessness shelters are heavily subsidized by federal funds. All of our food programs are subsidized by federal funds. So much of these programs are integral and core to keeping people alive at a very basic level. We're not even talking about working on prevention. We're not even talking about bringing them into a higher level of education.
We're not talking about Elon Musk.
No, I mean, there's no Elon Musk, flavor in any of what we've been doing in keeping people together and keeping them alive. I mean, there's just tremendous impact. You saw this week that the Alaskan Native Science and Engineering Program decided to take Alaska Native out of the ANSET. So it's just SET, or maybe ASET. But my staff and I drafted a harshly worded letter that went out to the Board of Regents yesterday, and we're going to put that on social media on Monday. We want to give it over to feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the impact is not just the administration and the president himself. I think the thing that is almost more frightening and a little bit more scary for us are our own people who believe this, who are willingly changing our systems and happy to make these major foundational shifts that are going to endanger a lot of people's health and well-being. Some of the things that we're really worried about and that we have to watch are there's a land back program that President Trump is pulling together. And basically, what he wants his government to do is buy land back from either federal, get federal lands, seize federal lands, but also get more access to state land and some private lands, all for the sake of development. I mean, Alaska's economy is 95% dependent on development and extraction. I know that, and it's a necessary evil in a lot of ways right now. That's the only way we're getting any money to fund the economy. But it has to be responsibly done. We have to be involved in how that's mitigated as people, and we should have a voice when we know that things are not going well. Some other things I think that we really need to think about from our community is the foundational erosion of tribal sovereignty and self-determination. We have worked so hard over the last 50 years to have a voice in things that happen in our community and have control over things that happen in our community. That's taken a long time. And we see already, just like with ANSEP turning into a SEP, that's an erosion of some of our basic tenets of this recognition of government-to-government relationship that our tribal governments hold. There are so many other vulnerabilities. I think that the thing that we are trying to do in our office is to find hope, because we know that we have to have some hope, otherwise we're going to go nuts.
Yep.
I think a few of us have our moments of total breakdown where we go a little crazy, and we're giving each other a lot of room. But in this room, we have tremendous resource. I see Celeste Hodge-Grouden over there with Alaska Black Caucus, a dear friend and partner who is at the forefront of getting a lot done in this town. We have former VPs of Native corporations I see in here. We have folks like Lola and all of you who have done tremendous things across our community. I think this is a perfect time to pull together, create a plan, and we find the way forward. That's the key.